installments ago in Wrestling Rundown history, I don't think I ever would have guessed that we'd see a War Games match.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or something even resembling a War Games match in WWE.
And around that time, NXT Takeover was still a brand new idea.
Yeah, and so, the whole concept, WWE, it's been the one steadfast WCW idea that Vince McMahon has never tried to ever get behind before. So, to see not exactly a traditional War Games match, but a newer version made, I guess, for NXT people specifically, comes to life and gave us something unlike whatever we've seen in the last while.
Yeah. We're no strangers to the statement that NXT was awesome. NXT did a fantastic job. NXT continuously does a great job. And NXT TakeOver, you can really tell that everyone involved goes that extra mile to make TakeOver so much more different than a regular NXT episode.
Yeah, so we had I believe it was the TakeOver debut for Lars Sullivan.
Yeah. Lars has been strictly just NXT TV, where we've seen him beat up most of his partners. He's tried to beat up his opponents, but his partners usually lose the match for him. But yeah, taking on Cassius Ohno, Cassius feeling like this was a good way to get his name back into the title picture.
Any time that you can beat somebody that's got an undefeated streak to their name, which, you can't say Lars Sullivan is strictly undefeated, but he hasn't been beaten in singles competition yet.
Yeah, and he's never been pinned.
Yeah.
So, by all definition, he's never been defeated.
It's the same reason why a lot of the people right off the get-go try and go for Aleister Black, because he hasn't been beaten yet either.
And so, Lars Sullivan being an interesting choice just because he doesn't seem like he's main event caliber, but he just has that mystique about him. Like, if I can make this guy look like a normal, everyday guy here on NXT, maybe that'll get my name back in the title picture. And Cassius definitely tried.
Yeah.
The problem is, when you go after someone who has a streak, you have to deal with that streak. There's a reason that they have that.
Uh-huh.
And Lars Sullivan came to play here at NXT.
Yeah, Cassius got on a bit of a roll, hit a bunch of elbows, hit the cyclone kick, hit a roaring elbow to the back of the head, but he charged in at the wrong time, and Lars just kind of caught him out of nowhere and hit him with that big overhead Uranagi slam that he does.
Lars... I think
Lars is in charge.
I think that was Cassius's problem, is he kept trying to go for that elbow. He kept throwing that, and so Lars eventually learned, hey, if I duck that, I can use the momentum to just lift Cassius up in the air and then drop his ass back down. Which is exactly what happened, and Lars Sullivan wins his debut NXT TakeOver match.
Yeah.
So good for that guy.
And that's a lot of people do. You get a lot of people that can't say that they win their very first TakeOver match.
Yeah. And moving right along, we go to our second, the longest streak running in NXT, Aleister Black taking on the Velveteen Dream. And we've talked about it. We were lucky enough to see this match live.
Yeah.
But holy shit.
Yeah, these guys brought it again. It was kind of refreshing to see it because when we saw it live in Portland, it hadn't even been on the radar on TV yet.
Yeah, no, it was strictly just, hey, we've got these two guys on the tour, we're going to put them against each other. There was no build, there was no expectation.
Yeah,
for
and so
that
they tore
match.
the house down. We were all just extremely pleasantly surprised. So, the minute we saw that Velveteen and Aleister were going to cross paths on TV, we got super stoked.
Yeah, we had a pretty good idea of what to expect.
And for good reason.
But again, this is NXT TakeOver, and both guys decided to up it again and just go balls to the wall through this entire match. The opening sequence of Aleister just commanding the arm of Velveteen Dream, not letting him even get an ounce of right direction. Like, Velveteen tried everything he could. You know, he finally had like one moment where he kind of hung Aleister up on the rope.
Yeah.
But that was after Aleister had worked over that arm and had just played.
He kept control of him, like, so well.
Yeah, and the mind games back and forth between the two of them, with Velveteen getting in and sitting crisscross right across from Aleister.
But then Aleister responding by dropping to the, I don't even know what you call it.
The snake.
The upward dog.
Yeah.
Pose.
Yeah. No, it was a great combination of how many different ways can these guys combat each other.
Not to mention the biggest mind game of them all, Velveteen Dream's tights.
Very Rick Rude.
Velveteen Dream on one leg and Aleister Black on the other leg.
That's it.
The name Velveteen Dream across.
No, it said "Say My Name" across the front.
I thought it said Velveteen Dream.
No, it said "Say My Name" across the front. NXT on the back. So yeah, bringing back such an old school way of getting into the mind of your opponent by putting their face, or Rick Rude took it a different direction.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and it's cool because just like War Games is a throwback, that was a throwback in its own right.
Exactly.
So we had more nostalgia feel, sort of like more shout out to the old school.
It was a nesting doll of nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's not something I ever thought I'd say. But yeah,
might be the first time it's ever been said.
Probably. Cool. I made something up. So both these guys really threw everything they had at each other.
Yes.
Velveteen, with that beginning sequence was already kind of, he was already coming in at a disadvantage, but still attempting to hit everything he possibly could, trying to hit the Purple Rainmaker, and it was just there was so many good moments where you weren't sure who was going to pick up the win. Yeah. And that's one of the best things about Takeover is that they do such a good job of making it not they are able to keep the mystique of either of these guys have a chance of winning.
Yeah.
And when you add in the just crazy athleticism from both these guys, a fantastic match. Velveteen ends up getting like a roundhouse lifting knee into the face. And like both him and Aleister are reeling, and then Velveteen decides he wants to talk a little shit and tell him to say his name. Unfortunately, that was enough time for him to catch Black Mass in the face, and Aleister Black retains his winning streak. And
Black Mass, which is ironic because that's also what Velveteen Dream calls himself in the bedroom.
I bet. And then, as Velveteen is like trying to unscramble his brains, we had Aleister Black get on the microphone and say, "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream." So he finally said Velveteen's name.
Yeah, and there was a backstage segment that happened live on the Facebook.
Yes.
After the match, where I believe it was Charlie was walking through the halls and happened to find Velveteen Dream, walked up to him and asked him how he felt after losing. It must be disappointed in losing your first Takeover match. And all he said was, "Aleister Black said my name. Aleister Black said my name. Aleister Black said Velveteen Dream."
Yeah.
So I think he feels like a winner.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna use this as a way.
Is that technically a draw then?
Pretty much. Velveteen didn't need to win the match. He just wanted Aleister to say his name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Velveteen is done. So we'll see how this plays out on TV. I'm excited. Our next match, for the first time since April 1st, 2016, we are deciding a brand new NXT Women's Champion.
Wow, it's a long time.
It's been a very long time. Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross, fatal 4-way for the NXT Women's Championship. apparently a lot of favoritism for Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
Which was extremely surprising. Each of these girls really, completely different from one another, enjoyed by fans for completely different reasons, and worked really well together.
Yeah. They got the pacing of the 4-way match done really well.
Yeah.
It's maybe the third or fourth time in the last year or so that the women's championship match has been a 4-way match. They do a lot of the multi-person matches in the women's division at NXT.
And they do a really good job of making everyone feel important.
Yeah.
Like, no one feels like fodder to the rest of the group, which is great. Because that happens a lot.
Peyton Royce did get quite a bit.
Yeah.
She ended up being on the receiving end of a lot of different moves, some intentionally, some unintentionally.
Yeah, it was, and she had to go it alone. Billie Kay actually heading to the back, and Peyton seemed like she was a little shocked that happened. She was like, well, wait, why?
Because they stopped at the top of the ramp during the entrance, and she actually grabbed Peyton by the shoulders, and she's like, "You have to do this by yourself."
Yeah.
And then Peyton was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then Billie gave her a little bit of a pep talk.
Yeah.
And then you saw that fire kind of light.
Yeah. No, Peyton was ready to go. I mean, Nikki, that psycho little muffin, she's ready to she's ready to fight anyone at any time.
Yeah.
And then both, Kyrie coming off,
especially if you're No Way Jose.
That is very true. Kyrie Sane's coming off of a huge win. Her being the first person put into the Fatal 4-Way because of her win in the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
And then Ember Moon feeling like she really needed to prove something after, multiple failed attempts against Asuka.
Yeah. And Ember and Kyrie both coming in with momentum on their side for this match because they both recently won matches on NXT TV.
Exactly. So with that being said, I think every single one of them played their part extremely well. We had some great near falls for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone hit that move that people are like, "Yep, that's the end of the match," and it wasn't the end of the match because we had Peyton hit the fisherman suplex on Nikki, and Kyrie was able to just barely kind of sweep the leg out from underneath Peyton, so that ended up breaking up the pin. We had Nikki hit a couple different of the swinging neck breakers, multiple people breaking that up. Kyrie ends up hitting the insane elbow on both Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross, but mostly Royce. And that sends Royce rolling out of the ring. And so Kyrie ends up going for the pin. Ember's able to crack her in the back of the head. And we see Ember start ascending to the top to try and hit the Eclipse on Nikki Cross. Peyton's able to hang up Ember. And using that moment, Peyton gets in. Kyrie's been clubbed in the back of the head. She's a non-factor at this point. But it takes Peyton so long to get Nikki back up to her feet.
And I'm curious what she was going for.
Yeah, because she had her front against Nikki's back. So I don't know what she was planning. But whatever it was, it didn't happen fast enough because there was enough time for Ember to recuperate, set up, and hit a double Eclipse on both Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross. And Ember Moon is the new NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah.
A fantastic match.
Yeah, Nikki Cross took the brunt of the Eclipse.
Yes.
Therefore, she was the one that got pinned.
Yes. Yeah, Peyton, as soon as it happened, Peyton kind of stumbled a bit and ended up rolling out of the ring. Kyrie got just inside the ring, but wasn't there in time to break up the pin. Congratulations, Ember Moon.
Well deserved.
Finally did it.
Asuka came into the ring to hand her the
that
belt.
was cool.
Hand her the belt over.
Yeah, it was Asuka.
And Regal.
Yeah, Asuka, Finn, and Funaki were all at ringside to watch the match.
Yeah.
So
also at ringside shown were Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe.
Yes.
Before the championship match.
Good segue.
Which is the next match.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre defending against Andrade Cien Almas.
Definitely not Drew Galloway.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Never mind. I mean, he technically is Drew Galloway, but he's not Drew Galloway.
Okay, bro.
Wrestling's confusing. So, Andrade having this new focus. Zelina Vega.
And Zelina. Having a Zelina.
Yeah, Zelina is his focus. She has done wonders for this guy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you know, he's had great TakeOver matches before.
Oh, yeah.
He's had great NXT matches.
Yeah.
All
his matches with Gargano, his matches with Oni Lorcan.
Loney Lorcan. Yeah, like...
It's been a long day.
He has great moments, but I never thought I'd ever see Andrade...
Versus the champion.
I never thought I'd see him in a TakeOver main event for the championship.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. It was like Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
You know, Ty was a guy who could get there. Ty was a guy who could be the opener at TakeOver, like a Tyler Breeze.
Absolutely.
You know, Tyler Breeze made it to the main event scene once.
Yep.
But he wasn't alone.
No,
it was a four-way.
That was a four-way match. It was a fantastic four-way match.
It was an amazing match. So to see, it's like Jinder Mahal winning the championship on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those things where like, holy shit, that actually happened.
Yeah.
Andrade almost gets a championship match at TakeOver. What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
It goes to show you that like, WWE and NXT maybe are trying to get back that aura of anything actually can happen.
And I really like that because that's the way it was when I remember The Rock defending the WWF Championship against the Road Dogg.
Yeah.
And feeling like the Road Dogg actually had a chance to win sometimes.
I mean, even in the mid-90s, I watched Bret Hart defend the WWF Championship against 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah, and it's nice when, there's no problem with having people that are obvious, like Braun Strowman should obviously run through people.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar should obviously run through people. But for the rest of the roster, it's nice to have a very even keel, makes you wonder what's going to happen type of thing. And that's exactly what NXT does. And Andrade with Zelina has just continued to get better. And he has really turned his whole, the whole presence of his character around.
Yeah.
Still keeping a little bit of that cocky attitude, but having more ferocity and just taking advantage of little moments that he wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, and it's cool. He came out with a new entrance attire, a cool blue get up.
Him and Drew both coming out with new
Drew with a
badass
war kilt.
Yeah, badass kilt with chains and studs and all kinds of stuff.
And they didn't take him long.
No.
To assert the fact that this was going to be a very physical match.
Yeah, Andrade, less than a minute into the match, just full on overhand chops Drew McIntyre and keeps wrenching on this headlock too. And then Drew's not gonna let up in a match like this. He doesn't care who you are. He's going to assert the fact that he is a giant human being.
Yeah.
And so, watching him and Andrade just exchange blows, whether it's clotheslines or drop kicks or
chops,
slaps
in the face, headbutts.
It was an extremely intense, very much on the same physical level that we had Lars versus Cassius.
Yeah. Selena kept trying to get herself, interjected. She went for a Hurricane Run into
the first
outside,
one was hilarious.
And Drew didn't go anywhere.
No, Drew just picked her back up and
flung her up onto the ring apron.
Yeah, just sat her there and was like, we're not doing that right now.
But that also kind of caused enough of a distraction that Andrade could reverse a powerbomb attempt into a Rana, which sent Drew into the ring post.
Yes.
And then he moonsaulted from the top rope straight over the ring post. Almost into the timekeeper's area.
Yeah, they did that Lucha Underground camera thing where you just see the person.
And that makes you freak out every time.
Every time. That is, if you want to see me do T-Rex arms while watching wrestling, you give me that camera view and someone jumping off, and that'll get me every time. So Drew and Andrade both hitting again, all of their usual stuff. Of a beautiful transition into a Future Shock DDT. Doesn't get the win for Drew. A couple different times, Drew drops him, and Zelina has to put his foot up on the ropes.
Yeah, because he ate a Claymore kick hard.
Oh yeah, he flipped out of that Claymore kick, and so he needed some help with that one. And then
Andrade hit double knees to the front and back of Drew. Hit the hammerlock DDT. None of it quite enough.
And the hammerlock DDT came after Zelina got in and hit a head scissors DDT, which everyone thought for sure was the end, but it was just a little bit more rage left to Drew McIntyre to kick out. But then it was a moment where he went for a Claymore kick again, and Andrade ducked, and that sent Drew over the top of the rope.
Well, in process of crouching himself.
Yeah. So Drew...
And Drew says, fuck.
Yeah, they had to bleep that shit. And so with that...
Which I feel like this could have been potentially the moment where Drew hurt himself.
Yes.
Because here's the thing coming into this is that Drew is not 100% coming out of this match.
No. So he goes over...
And then he starts climbing up the ropes.
Yeah, he's still fighting through. He's like, no, I've got this. He starts climbing to the top rope. And Andrade is like, oh, well, thanks for the the leg up, essentially, and is able to lock him up and, spike DDT.
Yeah, Drew is climbing up, and he's got his head's just completely free, so Andrade just wraps it and pulls him out with his feet. Yeah, with his feet caught on the top rope, so he can't do anything.
Yeah.
He's in a position where he cannot counter.
Yeah. And
he gets dropped on his dome.
Yeah, and Andrade Cien Almas is the new NXT champion. And
how about them apples?
And Drew McIntyre, unfortunately, has a potentially torn bicep.
Yeah. I think it might have come from holding onto the ropes, going over the top.
Yeah. Well, and he had his arm on the rope when he got dropped for the DDT.
I think that was... I have a theory on why he's doing that. I think he did that on purpose.
You think that's him trying to set up where it could have happened, or...
No, I think that was him making sure that Andrade wouldn't try and hammerlock his arm.
Oh.
If he knew his, if there was a muscle tear or something, he didn't want more damage done to it by having it put behind him, maybe.
Good point. Yeah,
so he held onto that rope.
Because as soon as the bell rings, Drew immediately starts grabbing at the arm, he starts grabbing towards his elbow, around his forearm, so we weren't totally sure, but then post-interview with Triple H said that he saw Drew as potential bicep tear. There wasn't an official word yet. So an unfortunate break for Drew McIntyre becomes the biggest break for Andrade Cien Almas. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. I'm not upset that Andrade won the title. I think he's made a name for himself enough to where he at least deserves a shot at that spot. Worst case scenario, he can just fuck it up and then lose it on NXT in a couple weeks against whoever they deem worthy to face him. But he's on a really good hot streak right now. He was very over in Houston, but I have a feeling that once they get back to Full Sail, he is going to get booed out of the building, and that is exactly what that character needs.
Yeah, and, not to say that being NXT champion is not a good thing, because it is a good thing, being a representative of any brand.
Absolutely.
But if you look at the names of the people who are in that brand who are all gunning for that spot, Aleister Black, Cassius Ohno, Lars Sullivan, Eric Young,
Adam Cole,
baby. There's a plethora of people who are now going to be focusing Roderick Strong.
Yep.
All their efforts
Cassius Ohno
getting to Andrade's belt.
Yeah. It is... Yeah. No, there's a lot of people looking at that target that is now on the shoulder of Andrade Cien Almas. But with that being said...
The namesake match of the show.
We head into War Games. Yeah.
All three team captains starting the match.
Yes.
Which is something that even in like the old days was not a common thing in the old War Games matches. The team captains usually save themselves for second, third, or fourth.
Right.
Not going in right away.
But yeah, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Eric Young all starting the match. Roderick Strong in his own Authors of Pain gear, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. I mean, right off the bat, a killer triple threat match.
Yeah. I kind of hope this becomes a triple threat match somewhere down the line. Yeah. It's just like these guys by themselves.
That would be really cool. And then each of the rest of the teams all locked in a different cage up on the stage, which I thought was actually a really brilliant move because we watched a couple of old War Games a couple days ago, and the fact that the teams were able to sit on either side of the cage, kind of like in their own corner, I think it made a lot of sense because all three of these teams want to just fucking kill each other to avoid the chaos of 6 people just beating the hell out of each other on the outside. It made a lot of sense to make sure that they were all locked up so they couldn't do that until it was their time to get in the match. I think the only thing I would have changed is had one member at a time go.
Yeah.
But regardless, so we had the first 5 minutes of just Young, Cole, and Strong. A fantastic way to start. Lots of really good teamwork, a lot of good fast-paced work. And then the first captain to kind of get a little bit of an advantage is Adam Cole, as we have Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are the first team to join the match.
Yeah.
And so then it's just complete domination for Undisputed Era because Young and Strong,
are now at a 1 versus 1 versus 3.
Yeah. So yeah, they do not have an advantage in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, very very quickly becomes Undisputed Era's match.
And then they are followed shortly thereafter by the Authors of Pain,
which
who are determined to fling everybody from one ring into the next.
Yeah.
Adam Cole lands on Kyle's head.
Kyle O'Reilly was the Peyton Royce of this match.
Oh, God.
He got the shit end of a lot of sticks in this match, and it was it was fun to watch. But I definitely wouldn't want to be Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And so Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong are able to kind of make a comeback. Eric Young is all but useless at this point. He's just waiting for that moment when he knows that his buddies are coming down. And then when it happens, then shit starts to get nuts.
Yeah, because it was Alexander Wolf hits the ring first.
Yep.
He marches down the ring quick like. Killian Dane took a sweet ass time.
Oh, yeah.
Which was funny because the whole time Killian Dane's shaking the cage.
He's playing that animal character, I need to get out of here, and then he just saunters down to the ring
so slow.
I got this.
When Wolf gets in the ring and he's he starts kind of getting surrounded by people, that he pulls a police nightstick out of his sleeve.
And goes to fucking town on people.
All the while, Killian Dane gets under the ring and throws trash cans and chairs and kendo sticks and tables.
And a chain.
All into the cage.
Yeah. He wasn't originally going to get the tables. He was at the top stair, and the whole crowd started chanting, "We want tables," and Dan went, "All right, fine, you're getting tables."
I feel like that was the plan the whole time.
Oh, absolutely.
The crowd just happened to, go right into
the plan. They took the bait. And they did exactly what they wanted them to. So then it's just
chaos.
It is chaos at this point. You have 9 people just beating the hell out of each other.
There's a double Tower of Doom.
Oh, fuck.
Adam Cole slinking his way across the top of the cage.
Alexander Wolf with a German suplex onto Akam through 2 tables, busting the back of his head open.
Yeah, a lot of blood loss. And Killian Dane hitting a coast to coast.
Yes. After telling Adam Cole that he was going to kill Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Again, another shit end of a stick that Kyle O'Reilly got was a coast to coast from Killian Dane.
So, Shane McMahon,
good luck.
Eat your heart out. Gain 100 pounds before tomorrow, then do the coast to coast.
And wear a sweater.
And a big fake beard.
Big fake beard. Unless you can grow a big fuck-all beard. Then do that. Braun Strowman hit a coast-to-coast. Then we'll be...
Pretty much.
That will be impressive.
Braun and Shane will just do coast-to-coast and collide in midair.
That's the first thing they do when they're in on either side of their Survivor Series team.
Yeah, that's going to be the opening boo.
They're both going to get eliminated. There's so much that happened in this match. It is impossible to go through every little bit, but it was a lot of fun. Some really great near falls.
Roddy hit a huge backbreaker train on everyone.
Yes. And then hit his Olympic slam on Killian Dane,
which was impressive.
There was I think it was after the suplex. There was all the bodies, and Roddy just happened to put his arm over, and tried to pin Adam Cole, and he kicked out, and it was just so much fun in this match, at the the expense of a lot of people getting their asses kicked. But eventually, after the suplex, there was a lot of people, spreading themselves out and just certain things happening to just annihilate certain people. But eventually, it comes down to Adam Cole and Eric Young, and both of them kind of keep trading blows back and forth. Adam Cole hits a super kick on Eric Young, and Eric's able to reach over and grab a chair that he's going to attempt to bash in Adam Cole's face, I would imagine. But Adam Cole, being the only person standing, takes the initiative to hit a Shining Wizard that cracks the chair into Eric Young's face. He picks up the win, and Undisputed Era are the winners of War Games. No surprise attacks from anybody, no new debuts, which I think at this point, we've got a pretty solid roster. We don't really need anybody new showing up on the scene, which is good. But now you've got the question of, with Andrade as the champion and Undisputed Era as the winners of War Games, does Adam Cole continue to rack up wins, or does he go straight for Andrade? Does this give Fish and O'Reilly a shot at sanity for the NXT Tag Team titles?
I definitely think that's going to be closer.
Yeah.
I think Cole and Roddy are going to have a chance to duke it out themselves first.
So, yeah, it's a good call.
They'll probably get a match at Takeover.
And we do know Takeover Philadelphia, the day before the Royal Rumble on January 27th, is going to be a thing. No special name announced for it yet, but we got
NXT Takeover Rumble.
Sure.
They have their own Royal Rumble.
We got 2 months till it happens, so we can hold off on that. I had a lot of fun, and we're at that point where we just hope that Survivor Series can...
Fingers crossed.
Just, you're doing good. You're doing good. Don't ruin it. You're fine.
The build has been great. So let's hope Survivor Series keeps it going.
But that is it for our review of TakeOver War Games. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click the links down below.
There are so many links.
Like a podcast.
That's the SoundCloud link.
Or there's Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling. Or like War Games.
Shut the fuck up.
I gotta finish the outro though.
Alright.
Over on Reasonable Wrestling Fans, there will be a brand new unboxing. It should be showing up on Monday. So sometime this week, there should be a brand new unboxing over on that channel.
Yeah.
Stay over here, of course, because not in podcast form. Coming up next, we'll have our review of Survivor Series. And then, of course, all of our regular videos of the week, which you can check out in podcast form. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Fuck in your reason.